Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us for SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton. Delighted today to bring on one of my long-standing advertisers over at Amavida Living, which is also a Love for Life. We have Miss Beth Crenshaw, who is the Director of Community Relations, Business Development. That's what it is. Yes. How are you this morning, Beth?
Great. Thanks, Amanda.
And a part of the new leadership team, we have Scott Moore joining us, who is the executive director or president over at Amavida. How are you this morning, Scott?
Very good. Good to be here.
Wonderful. Well, we have done a few interviews with Beth. I know a lot about her, but we're going to recap that. But before we do, I want to know a little more about you, Scott. So tell me about your background and what brought you over to Amavida.
Well, I spent about 8 years in the acute care world in hospitals, and then I had an opportunity to come to Shell Point as part of an architectural team because they were expanding. So I did that for about 3.5 years, and then I ended up in their operations. And 13 years later, I left Shell Point as their chief operating officer. Then I went to work with Covenant Living and became their executive vice president of operations. And so we were in about 10 states and had 12 CCRCs and some rental communities and some standalone skilled nursing. But the home office was in Skokie, Illinois. So when it was 22 degrees below zero one morning, I said, I've got to get back to Florida. And I hooked up with the Quadrum Global Investors Group. And I'm actually the president of their senior living division. And I'm acting as the executive director here at Amavida in Fort Myers, Florida.
Well, welcome. We're very excited to have you. Now, much like yourself, I think Beth and I have tried to escape Florida, but we all came back. So, Beth, tell me a little bit about your background, what brought you into senior living. And I understand that you and Scott have some amazing synergy. You've worked together in the past. So tell me a little bit about what brought you here to Amavida as well.
Right. Yeah, Scott and I have worked together before at Shell Point. And when I was approached to come take a look at Amavida, I came into the building and I fell in love instantly with the community here. It's got, I mentioned this word before, but it's very vibrant. And I love that about our residents, the community itself, and the team that works here. And to work with Scott again, it was just something that I was really happy to do. And I've been here since the end of October and really enjoyed being here and love the community just as much as I did that day I walked through the door, if not more.
Yep, and a happy team makes happy residents. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, speaking of your residents, we have a couple of things that we're going to discuss today. I know that your community is definitely a little different than the rest of them out there. So tell me a little bit about Amavida, what makes it so special.
Well, so unlike what, Scott and I are very familiar with CCRCs, continuing care retirement communities, also known as life plan communities. Amavida is a little different. We are a resort retirement leasing community. So we offer 12-month leases, and no large entrance fees to get into Amavida. So this offers our residents quite a bit more flexibility, which is definitely an asset for our community.
For sure. And proximity to everything. You are really centrally located. I passed that block of land for so long wondering what the heck is going there. So it was really awesome to see that. Tell me a little bit about your location and what makes it special.
Right. Yeah, I think we all did the same thing when we were being built, not just over two years ago, almost 2.5 years ago. Amavida opened its doors, but we have private gated access to Lakes Park, which is fantastic. Lakes Park, if you haven't been, offers miles of walking and biking paths. People go there for birding, fishing, canoeing. It is gorgeous. It has a fantastic seasonal farmers market, and our residents have a key fob that will get them through our gate, which is right in our backyard. So it's a fantastic amenity that our residents really enjoy.
Yeah, and you're so close to Highway 41, the interstate. The proximity is great. Now, you're also a brand new community. You keep mentioning like 2.5 years. So you're probably a step above the rest, I would say, as far as hurricane policies and procedures. So Scott, do you want to go into a little bit about that, what your preparation for the upcoming hurricane season is?
Yeah, the good news here is our preparation is you just pretty much defend in place. Having been built only a couple of years ago, the entire facility is kind of a class 4 rated facility. And then we have a dedicated section to healthcare that's class 5, and it's truly class 5. A lot of the older communities are using parking garages and various other things as hurricane shelters. But even the flood elevations have changed. So some of that's become outdated. So to be able to stay in your home, I mean, and then if it was a class 5, it's simply moving into the corridor, but it's still air conditioned and we have everything on generator. It's a pretty fantastic spot to be if you have to be in a hurricane, which we, of course, nobody wants to be in the middle of.
No, nobody wants to, but it's good to know that you're safe and you don't need to exit the area. You're, again, in such a great location. The elevation's wonderful as well. Now, you are a beautiful independent living community, but you do also offer the levels of care that folks are looking for. So tell me a little bit about your assisted living and memory support.
Right. Scott, did you want to talk about that, or do you want me to take the lead there?
I can certainly talk about it. You know, what's happened over the years is that the licensure for assisted living and other licenses that you can carry, like limited nursing and extended congregate care, are allowing a lot more people to age in place in assisted living and actually removing some of the need for skilled nursing.
Sure.
We have that benefit here because we have a limited nursing license. So we offer a limited nursing license and standard assisted living, as well as memory care. And of course, the limited nursing license goes into memory care as well. So we've actually not had anyone have to leave to go to a skilled nursing facility because we also offer hospice here. So we have every step in the continuum of care except skilled nursing, but to date haven't had a chance to need it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then another benefit would be that we're all under one roof. So should a family member, a couple be living in independent living and a spouse has to go to assisted living or memory care, it's really right down the hall. You know, it's all covered. You don't have to leave the building to go visit that loved family member.
No, that's an excellent point. I think it's really important to talk about that because there are folks that want to stay in the same community for sure and not have to travel along a large campus like you would in a continuing care retirement community, for example,
Right.
where the buildings are very much separated and you're on a large, huge piece of land. Not that Amavida is not on a large piece of land, because it certainly is if you've driven by it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And we also have some assisted living apartment homes that can accommodate couples. So they're larger than most, which is nice.
Perfect. Now, you also have a lot of events that are open to the public. Other than looking on Seniors Blue Book at our activities calendar, why don't you tell our viewers today how they can check out what's happening over at Amavida?
Right. Yes. And thank you for sharing those events, Amanda, on your page. But we have a lot of events and activities that are open to the public. We've got some great speakers that are coming in and just special events, a lot of fun. Those are all on our website, amavidaliving.com. We also share them on our Facebook page. And if you're on our email list, you get first access to those events.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time this morning. And until we can see each other again in person, I look forward to that.